When you look at some of these draft prospects, we know that you've watched John Morant a lot. How do you think he's going to work out in the NBA?
I think he'll be really good. He's athletic. He can shoot the ball. Really good passer. So, I mean, in today's NBA, I think he's going to be a star.
It's amazing when you think about how that position has changed. We were talking about it earlier, right? The fact that you have to be able to shoot the three ball from distance, all that type of stuff. What you see out of him, though, the athleticism that he shows you, and also with the handle, is that still like special? Like, you know, we talk about how his pro, but is that still special, or is that going to become the norm for a lot of these players?
I think it's going to become the norm. Right now, it's still special.
Yeah.
That's what makes Ja Morant a special player. I mean, and then with his size and athleticism, I mean, it's pretty unstoppable.
Do you find it interesting that he announces before the draft that he has a small knee issue, getting a little minor surgery on his knee even before the draft? Normally
Yeah,
you
I was
hear
surprised.
that after.
I was very surprised. Like you said, normally you would hear that right after the draft that he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks after having surgery. Mm-hmm. I wonder who's going to pay for the surgery right now. that's what I would have said after.
It's a good businessman.
All right, in our first segment, we talked a little bit about Jay Wright. Your senior season with Jay Wright coaching, you helped lead Hofstra to the NCAA tournament, 99-2000, and here was Jay Wright on the sidelines that season.
Speedy! Come here! Good job, kid. You're our leading rebounder. We're battling for balls. You're out here at half court. You got to make the difference in there. You're the difference, kid. Come on, baby.
Whoa.
That's Coach Wright. On-court Jay Wright right there.
And on the phone, we have none other than Jay Wright. Jay, thanks so much for joining us. So Speedy says you're a lot nicer when you're recruiting guys like Speedy than you are when you're coaching guys like Speedy.
See, Coach, they told you he was going to be on the phone.
That was a good answer, man. Thanks, Speedy. Good looking out, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
So, Coach,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Hey, but I was recruiting him. He was like 5'6". He was tiny. He wasn't even. I thought I was doing him a favor at the time. Turned out the greatest gift I ever got.
That actually is funny that he said that. That's what it sounded like he was alluding to, because Speedy was telling us, Coach, and by the way, good to hear from you. He was talking about how one of the reasons why he ended up at Hofstra is because he signed early, and that he didn't have a choice to go anywhere else because you were able to lock him up early. And you sound like you were doing him a favor, but for both of you, obviously, it was a great marriage. But that is, though, something to be said about coaching, and that there are different levels of coaching, as Jalen Brunson was saying too when he dealt with you, is that you also have to, that you sacrifice your relationship with him in order to make him a better player. How hard is it to get a player to understand that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And, just you guys are talking about the draft. I want to address that question. It's a good one. But it also tells you about the draft. Like, everybody does all their research and works so hard at this. And NBA teams invest so much manpower and finances into finding out everything they can about these players. But sometimes, a guy or two just shocks you. You get them and he shocks you, and you look great, like Kawhi Leonard. San Antonio gets him at the end of the first round, and he could turn out to be one of the best guys ever in the NBA. It's the same thing in recruiting for me. Honestly, when we recruited Speedy, he literally was 5'6", about 145 pounds when he verbally committed, and more than signing, he verbally committed early in his senior year before the basketball season. And then he started to grow during his senior year, and he actually dominated. He was on a high school team with Barkley and Lamar Odom and all these great players. He wound up really being the best one by the end, and he kept his word. He didn't even sign. He kept his word that he committed, and everyone at the end came in. Bobby Crimmins at Georgia Tech, Seton Hall, St. John's, everybody came in, and he just kept his word, which made us look really smart, but really we got lucky, man. We got lucky.
Jay, how would you answer? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But to answer your original question is, that is one of the difficult things about coaching, and Speedy's doing it now. He's a coach, and I know he understands this, that you recruit these guys and you love them, You know, they're great guys. They chose to come with you. You're so grateful that they're trusting you. But then you realize, the best thing you can do for them is tell them the truth. And if you're just, being nice to them all the time and accepting the effort they give you and applauding them all the time, you're really not being truthful. So you're not really making them better. So it's always a balance. You don't want to lose that relationship, but you have to be honest with them so that you can make them the best they can be.
Jay, how would you assess the top of the draft in terms of Zion and John Morant and, let's say, R.J. Barrett?
Well, when you talk about those three, you probably can't miss, on any one of those three. Sometimes you think about a year where the big guy from Ohio State came out, Odin, right? And I think he was the first pick that year, and he has knee problems. He's a big guy and ankle problems. And these guys are all, those mid-range. Morant's big for a guard. They're those mid-range guys that have great bodies, probably going to have long careers. All of them are multifaceted. They can play different positions. So you really can't go wrong. I'm sure the NBA teams are really looking into their personalities and really who they want to lead their team, and also who they're going to be playing with. Who they're going to fit around them.
Jay, you've had enough time to coach Speedy, but talk to him right now about coaching. Coach him into coaching right now. What's some advice that you have given him, and some advice you'd still give him now?
Well, one of the funny things about Speedy as a coach is when he was a player, I would always tell our staff, he knew we were at Hofstra, so everybody on our team was from New York. We had 13 scholarship players. 12 of them were from New York City. One was a foreigner. He was from Jersey City. And so if you were outside the 5 boroughs, you were a foreigner to us. So Speedy knew all the players. And I would always tell our staff, if we weren't sure about a player, I said, go and ask Speedy, because he knows players and he's not going to BS you. Like, if you don't think a guy can play, he'll tell you he can't play. And if he says a guy can play, that means he's really good. And still to this day, we'll be out on the recruiting trail, and he's recruiting for Hofstra. I'm recruiting for Villanova, but I'll go find him at an event, and I'll just say, hey, do me a favor, look at this kid for me that we're recruiting. Look at that kid, because I trust his evaluation of players better than anybody. He's so good at that. But the one piece of advice that's the hardest thing to do, I think, is it's so hard to be a great coach if you are a great player, because it's hard to understand why things are difficult to other players, because you worked hard. You were talented. When you put effort into something, it worked for you because you were so gifted. It takes a change in your perspective to be able to be patient with guys that maybe don't pick things up as quickly as you did or aren't as talented as you were. That patience and understanding a unique perspective is something that's important for a guy like Speedy or any great player that is now coaching.
Jay, we can't thank you enough for your time. You built a dynasty at Villanova, back-to-back national titles, another excellent year this past season. Have a great summer and a great year next year.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you. Congrats on the Christ the King Hall of Fame, Speedy.
Thanks, Coach.
There you go.
See you guys.
There you go. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jay.
So he was no harsh words for you there.
Never. That's my God, man.
How happy are you for him after seeing him move on to Villanova, or back to Villanova, actually, for him, and winning national championships, where he's become?
Extremely happy. I mean, like I said, that's my guy. When he won his first national championship, I remember I was at one of my friends' house, and I was so happy for him. I texted him as soon as that shot went up. I was like, oh, that's good. That's right. But now he's going to be a Hall of Fame coach, and to look back like, that's crazy to see where he started from.
Right.
It's wild.
And you had a lot to do with him getting that job at Villanova, that is for sure.
Yeah, he might owe me a check or two.
All right, Speedy, thank you so much for dropping by. For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.